Here we are. Hello. This is John Scheiben.
Sean Papazian.
I'm
There you go.
Sean's the director. I'm the writer and producer. You don't see my name till the end, unfortunately. And our beauty shots, which we spent many hours arguing about.
And that little piece of sagebrush that came floating by was to scare the audience. I'm hoping it did.
Yeah, Sean was standing there with the sagebrush, cueing the sagebrush.
And our special Winnebago family there.
We had a challenge doing Rest Stop 2 because it is a sequel, but we also wanted to make it accessible to any viewer. So we were constantly going back and forth with how much do we show. There was a whole scene here, for example, that introduced the Winnebago family that we ended up cutting because it felt like there was too much. I didn't need to set them up so much. But
I wanted to keep that mystery alive about who these people are versus knowing about them ahead of time.
And one of the advantages or the exciting things, I think, for me as a writer is being able to expand on the mythology and the characters of the first movie. So here's the Winnebago family meeting the driver and our favorite creepy twins for the first time. You get to see how he became the creature he was in the next movie.
You know, right here we were going for a technique of having them look right in the camera to really unsettle, people watching, to make it feel as if they are our driver there. Whether it worked or not is another story.
Stole that truck.
We wanted to, on this movie, get to know the driver a little bit, see him, hear him, which John didn't want to do on the first one. So,
no, the first movie he was definitely a Spectre. He was the shark. He was the mysterious force. And now in this one, we wanted to expand the world and expand him as a character. And I think the actor here had an interesting challenge because he had to play both this character and present day, because this is a flashback right now, present day, the monster who is the mystery. So it's kind of a challenge.
And one he did well at.
Yeah. Yeah,
There's our little Scotty. Look at that guy.
He's gold.
He's a trooper. He actually...
that is not the actor's real face, by the way.
And actually, that was a stunt, which we discovered during that shot.
Yeah, one of those convenient stunts.
Those good moments that we captured on film.
I always love when you sit down and you make a movie and you shoot all the pieces, and half of these pieces were shot in different places. Some were on stage, some were on just at the scene we were watching. And when you see it, if it's done right and you put it together, it's still like magic to me. It's like it really looks like these people are driving a car.
It really does.
It's fun.
This was a fun scene to do. We just kind of got the actors together and started playing around. You'll see in a second. Diane is a fantastic actress to work with, and she really takes things literally.
Oh, she embodies her characters, that's for sure.
Definitely.
This is what America wants.
Winnebago
family sex, yeah. No, all of our cast were troopers. I mean, I know there were a couple moments for Sean where he had to pull them aside and say, okay, this is what you're doing now. And it's like, get on your knees. And
this is one of those moments.
Really?
I had to convince Diane it was going to be a great scene and one that was not going to be over gratuitous. And I guess she started getting into it, as you could tell.
Yeah.
So, to my point, she really kind of gets into things. This is the actors, getting into their tongues. And how do you say that? Speaking tongues?
Speaking in tongues, yes. That's her.
They're prepared for this, scene, so I started filming them. I thought it was interesting and sick.
No, this combination of the sacred and profane always works. It always works because so much of religion and religious fervor is an inch away from passion and terror, really, when you think about it. And so we played with that a lot in the first movie, and we play with it here. That's what's so great about the Winnebago family, is that they're like Christian extremists taking it to one step further.
That was me, by the way. That was my cameo.
You were very good.
I was very good, actually. I was shoveling. This was, a piece of the first movie, which we wanted to really fill in some exposition here of what happened with the family.
You also get, you win a prize if you notice that everybody's hair is a little different, and that's a different guy as the driver. But again, the magic of cinema, you don't care. It really plays. And we made a stylistic choice, and we sort of in the first movie, but even more here, where we're just using that Super 8, quote unquote, Super 8 footage as reality, and or in and out of reality, and I think that just gives it a nice feel. We talked a lot
of texture. Want a lot of texture in this.
Talked a lot about tone and where's the proper tone, and then by that I mean everything from lens choice to color saturation to performance to score. We wanted to start the movie after that little prologue, which is that scary prologue to suck us in, and then we went to our title card, which I think Sean still is working on as we speak.
Trying to, at least.
The first third of the movie needs to set up a sense of reality, because our theory is, if it feels more real, if it feels like this is our world, that this could be me, one of these kids, as you then take these people into hell, it'll make it scarier and more terrifying, because it's recognizable to me. I mean, that's where all the iconography of the movie.
Not to interrupt you, but did you see the balloons, the red, white, and blue? I want to see how many people discover the patriotic theme that I've subtly put in here. But as you were saying,
yes. No, I think we can. Someone can be a dead body in the next movie if they figure that one out.
See, red, white, and blue in the background.
There they are again.
Welcome home, Captain Shakana. Thanks, man.
No, the other thing about horror movies, and I'm not the first person to say it. I think Sam Raimi said it once, that find some characters, some people that make the audience love them, and then put them through hell. And that's what we tried to do. So here's this opening is not only to introduce our characters, but to like Jared and
to get into their personal drama.
Exactly.
So they can feel personable with them.
So they're not just victims. They're not just bodies on a table.
They're people.
That'll come.
That you like and know.
No, I mean, I know what everybody else does, right?
And Jared, we had a fun time with Jared.
Yeah.
Jared's character, at least. That guy's gone through murder, literally, with this movie.
Yeah, that became the joke. What else can we do to him? How much more can we humiliate him? These kind of scenes, this party scene, it's always ironically the scene that you would think, okay, it's a party. It's a bunch of people standing and drinking beer and dancing. That one was hellish.
Oh, man.
It was probably the hardest thing to shoot in the whole movie.
It was the hardest thing. And,
just to do it justice, to make it look like, and this is low-budget filmmaking, so it's not like you can have 500 extras.
No, we cut out a lot of scenes. We cut, the amount of coverage, it just, that was my weak point, that scene.
Well, it's hard. That kind of stuff is hard. Again, trying to make it look real with the limitations you're under is
Keep
hard.
That energy as well. This, we had a scene, Jared was actually out there, and it just kind of brought the moment out of this personal moment with the two of these characters. So we actually cut him out, and it actually ended up working really well.
It is. It's funny because it was blocked and shot, and there's a whole other character in it. But you'd be surprised how often those kind of things happen in movies, where you realize the heart of the scene after you've cut it together, and you just have to make those decisions. Nothing against the other actor. It's just works better this way. Was this day one? No, this wasn't day
This
one.
was,
this
I
was,
think,
this
day
was after
two.
the fire. Yeah.
Oh, it's good for you.
Once again, red, white, and blue.
There it
for all
is.
those who are concerned about my theme.
It's going to become the rest stop, don't look back drinking game. Every time you see red, white, and blue, you take a shot.
The
Red car.
red and blue car.
Coming with us.
I heard that. Tom is my best friend, and I just want to help out.
You're not his best friend.
No, I said he's.
Now, one thing that we wanted to make sure is that, Jared's involvement in this journey that Tom is going to go take, that it was organic and not forced. And so John and I kind of came up with a fun, I think, way of getting Jared to really want to go on the journey, because he has got this love interest for Nicole, or at least this
Right. It's got a crush on her.
infatuated crush.
If she dies along the way, you can bury me with her. Deal. Let's get out of here.
And that's always, when you're setting up horror movies, how do you bring them all together in an organic, natural way, and have a reason and rhyme to go on this journey, so that, at a certain point they just go, why am I just should turn around and go back home. So
Right.
Jared's got a reason, like Tom has a reason, and like Marilyn has a reason to go on his journey and fight the journey, fight through the journey, fight through the struggles of the journey. John wouldn't let me go get a bunch of Vista shots, so,
So
we had to take a shot and flip it right there. You
Yeah.
noticed that was backwards.
Yeah.
Talk to my cousin Jake.
I think you shot that shot anyway, didn't you,
I
in the
did.
first movie?
Well, what'd he say?
Not much. Jess was looking to crash at his place. Told him he was on something called the Old Highway. I looked on the map. There's nothing called the Old Highway. It's weird.
This was a struggle too, on a schedule that we had, trying to get all the various driving pieces within the extra stuff that we needed to make this all sew together editorially and have a definitely a non-indie feel.
Right. You don't want to have, on a road picture, basically, you want to see some road. And we were limited in where we could go for budget reasons. We couldn't go too far out of the zone or out of our area. So we tried to find landscapes and use them in ways that make it give you that sense of movement, that they're going forward, that they're traveling, and they're no longer at home, etc. So I think it works well. I think
And we opened the picture up.
exactly gives a chance for Bear McCreary's music to go crazy.
Settle in and get inside your head. Now, this is a scene I fought John for.
Yeah, when we
I
do
fought
that-
everybody, even my
but-
DP. They all
yeah,
looked at me
everybody
crazy.
was like,
This is my first scare moment here that I thought would be interesting. And I feel proud about it.
you should. No, it works. Two men in the bathroom. No, I think Sean was right, and but that's the nature of collaboration, and one of the reasons why I much more enjoy making movies than writing them, is that you're out there with a team of talented people, and everybody, if you have a team of talented people, everyone's trying to make the movie better, and so there's
Contribute.
all these, it's constant questions and conflicts. And it's like, we're going to do it this way. No, this way's better. And if you have a good collaboration, which we did, which Sean and I did, very, not always on the same page, but always trying to make it better. And so it becomes just a lot of fun. I mean, you want to go to the set because you know something good's going to happen.
Might not have been on the same page, but had the same vision.
Right. Yeah, this is one of those scenes where I let Sean talk to the actors.
Yeah, this was funny because they ended up, becoming a couple, which was fantastic. But they both have never ever done a love scene together, and so it was just an interesting conversation before we shot this, and I basically just said, pretend you guys like each other. And coincidentally, they are now an entity.
Yeah.
And I said, get comfortable, and they got comfortable. And I love this scene for what's going to happen next. I love bringing the audience through these peaks and valleys, and I think we did that, John and I, a lot through this movie, to kind of always keep you guessing. what's next? What's going to happen next? You think this is going to be one thing, and then all of a sudden it turns into another. And I think we had a great time finding all those peaks and valleys. And for them to have this very sensitive moment and then soon to be disrupted by our driver. There was a shot I had that John would let me put in this movie. I just want to make a statement there. That through the mirror shot, it was one of those kind of director shots where everyone looks at you crazy, but you know, I felt it worked.
Well, you know, what I've learned over the years in television has been, you make the movie 3 times, and you make it once in the script, and you make it on the set, and then you make it in the editing room. And so you don't know what you're going to need when you're out there, or what will work when you're out there. You have to try as many ways as you can to skin that cat, to tell that story. Because when you get in the editing room, it's a whole new process, and it's things that you were certain worked on stage just don't work at all, and vice versa. Things that you never thought would work are like, gee. So, but it's always that constant, you know, pressure, especially in low-budget filmmaking, of time, and so you have to make those decisions. I mean, it's kind of why it makes it exciting, in a way, and
Fresh, organic.
You kind of get creatively charged because you're forced to make those decisions, or together make those decisions, as opposed to, you know, in a big budgeted studio movie where, okay, we shot that scene, we took 2, 3, 4 days to shoot one scene. Well, we do 2, 3, 4 scenes in a day, and so you have to make those.
You have to have a good instinct for the material,
Right.
and understand where your eyes seeing and going.
Well, and you really, instinct is a good word, because that's what I tell young writers too. It's like, train your instincts, see as many movies as you can, and break them down, and so that because your judgments are going to have to be snap judgments. You're not going to have time to go to debate it for an hour, because the crew's standing there staring at you, and
The actors
clock
are
is
looking at
ticking,
you
and
cross-eyed.
you got to know what you got to train your gut, and you can do it.
I love this shot. This was a lucky shot. Chaz Shelton, our cinematographer, I worked with him before, and he's got a great eye that I think that complements not only the picture, but you know what I see and feel. And I think the texture of lighting and the mood of lighting, I think he did a great job.
Well, you can see here too, at this point now we're entering sort of the
Triangle.
Bermuda Triangle of our scare zone, and you can see we pulled a little bit of the color out of the saturation, blown it out a little bit, just to start putting things on a little edge, and it's just going to continue to do that as it goes.
Hey, how you doing?
The sound design also as well to complement all that.
Listen,
Steve Railsback, fantastic actor. He's one of those kind of guys that you really work with prior to turning that camera on and getting inside the character. He likes to really be the character.
Oh yeah.
And he creates his own impression on what the character would do and what he wouldn't do in a scene. So you really got to make sure you're on page with him. But he really brings it.
He's one of those lessons though that writers have to learn, because in a lot of ways he was the polar opposite of what was in my head when I wrote it. And when you actually get there, you have to say, okay, is this the same character? You know, and
that's a good point.
In a way he wasn't, and we ended up cutting some lines, not because they were badly done, just because the way he saw the character didn't require them. And so we made
his looks gave more than the
words.
His
looks
did
did a lot of the work that the dialogue was supposed to do. So this is all a set out at a place called Stevenson's Ranch, which nearly burned down on our first day of shooting. It was very exciting.
What an ordeal. The very first day.
We were walking along, shooting happily, And there was a brush fire miles away, and the smoke was coming over the hill. And I said to Sean, "Oh, that's not even close."
No, I said to you, I said, John, doesn't that look like it's going to come around, the hill? Oh, no, fine.
Keep shooting.
Keep shooting, you'll be fine. Within 35 minutes, we had all but, I think, 40 fire trucks and helicopters removing us
And they
from
were
the...
kicking us out of there, and
Yeah.
we had to leave all our equipment and driving out in smoke. It was very exciting.
It was definitely the hurdle of the picture. But I think we all came together as a team, crew, cast, our producer, and really spearheaded this picture with that obstacle in mind.
1995.
See, look at the intent in his eyes.
Tell you everything.
That alone really makes you feel
Please get out of here now.
that he's got
Just tell me what the fuck.
an understanding of more to come. Those are the moments I love to capture.
Babes in the woods. Lambs to the slaughter. I tried.
Well, in keeping with sort of the first movie structurally, I just really like the idea of our characters being out of their element, being in an area that not only are they unfamiliar with, but that everybody else seems to know a lot more than they do. So what does this guy know? Does he know something about my brother? He certainly seems suspicious, and
My brother.
you realize everybody's tied in, and I just think that adds to the tension, adds to the helplessness, etc.
John likes to write a lot of ambiguity,
True.
which is fun and interesting to try to peel apart, to give clues, but to hide them at the same time. And
She won this.
No, it's true. I believe the audience is
Remember,
very smart, and I believe the audience enjoys
Joe?
the mystery and trying to figure out what the logic is, and they'll make their own logic.
Where?
Our job is to give them the elements, not to tell them what to think.
I do remember. I know. Yeah. I about a year ago, I found it on the old highway.
What old highway?
and, keeping in mind
Highway on the map.
that old highway is another
No word.
piece within the Bermuda Triangle,
You show me?
and Steve, is like the gatekeeper in a way. So this is a moment where
Mile
they're
up.
about to enter into the heart of the Bermuda Triangle, which is, of course, the rest stop.
Yeah, I mean, we in the spirit of expanding on the first movie, what you want to do in a sequel, you don't want to just do the same thing. Sean and I sort of came up with this notion that the driver and the rest stop is only part of his stomping grounds, and it extends to that motel where we just saw the truck, to this gas station, so that within that area, once you drive in, scary, bad, creepy things can happen. And then here's another moment of a clue. That's the photograph from Jared's car, from his visor they just looked at. And it's not going to land on everybody, but
Remember that photo?
it's a subtle thing of how did he get it? Is there something about this guy? And our characters don't even know it yet. So that's the kind of thing I love, though.
Mhm.
There it is. So
And definitely remember that photo for the end.
nice S curve.
Who's the most awesome guy? Jared's the most awesome guy.
This is where we start having fun.
Nothing like a fart joke. There you
gotta
go.
always have one in.
There you go.
And the one thing we wanted to play with Jared's character is to bring humor within. That's one thing John really wanted to expose that wasn't exposed in the first movie, obviously, because it didn't have the amount of characters to play with that the first one or the second one does, and really making Jared kind of the rag doll in this whole movie was real fun. And just without saying it, fucking with his mind.
Yeah, no,
Torturing him.
it's for a character to. I mean, it does become the driver's MO when you look at it. Oh yeah, when you step back and
It
look
was
at
great.
it. I know.
We let John in there before we shot it.
Exactly. Hit craft surface
You
and
know.
service, and then You know, no, those are the kind of moments when that you always remember from a movie shoot, when the prop guy walks up to you with a variety of turds for your approval.
Exactly.
It's like, do you like it this way or squishy or a little more corn in there? No, with Jared, you know, is a good way to illustrate the way the driver works, which he did in the first movie. He likes the cat and mouse. It's not just about killing you; it's about torturing you, and that's why he's got the bus, and that's why he plays these games.
That rib